Hello, we're back. This is Teresa and Bo Hendrix. We're here at ASU. We completed part one. We made an introduction, just to repeat that for a minute. This is Bo Hendrix. She is here. She is an academic advisor here at ASU. She introduced herself and shared a little bit of her role, and what parents need to do to get started with their student. Now she's going to talk to us a little bit about getting admitted, and some other things. So I'm just going to let her take off, and I will interrupt her on occasion. She's used to that. So talk to us on getting started.
Okay, so the whole start from I think I want to go to college to I am now enrolled in my first semester. It really starts with okay, what do I want to do? So if you have a student who is maybe not 100% sure but knows college is probably in their future, I would start by contacting admissions here at Arkansas State University and hooking up with an admissions advisor. They're kind of like me, but they do the front end work. So they'll get you on the front end. They'll say like, hey, this is what A-State's about. Let's see if A-State can fit into your goals, or if you fit into the goals that we can help you accomplish. And so once you start talking to an admissions counselor, they'll get you through the process of let's figure out maybe what we want to do. And if not, let's just go ahead and start the admissions process and start an exploratory degree. Not a lot of people know that's an option. You say, year one, I want to take all of my general education courses because those are pretty universal. A lot of our, you're going to have to get your English and your math and those kind of things out of the way. So year one can be totally exploratory. Maybe you take an intro to psychology class and suddenly that is your passion and that's what you want to do. Or maybe you're in fine arts music and you are suddenly just in love with music and maybe music education is the route you want to take. So that first year, you can totally do an exploratory degree, or maybe you have known what you wanted to do since you were 6 years old, and you have always wanted to be in education because your mom was in education, and then maybe your older sister's in education, and then maybe you end up in education. So despite knowing your future or not, because who does at 18? I had more than one career before I got here. And so starting with just getting admitted. So once you've been admitted, that admissions counselor will probably give you some advice like, hey, go ahead and fill out your FAFSA. That is your ticket to financial aid. Not a lot of people can just walk into college and pay out of pocket. In fact, I don't know anybody who can. Scholarships, grants, loans, those are your options, and you definitely want to get your FAFSA in as soon as you can, as soon as you've made a decision about going to college, so that you can look at your financial options. You can say like, oh, I applied for this grant, or maybe I'm going to have to take out loans, or maybe just start doing some Google searches or scholarships. Special populations are a great way to fund your scholarships through A-State. If you know the major you're interested in, like for instance, at the College of Education Behavioral Science, we have tons of specialty endowment grants and scholarships. And those are open every spring and they apply for the next year. So literally just go to our website and click on scholarships and scroll through them because there are tons. So once you kind of get admitted, kind of start thinking about how you're going to pay for school, that's when the kind of last stage for admissions is signing up for a new student orientation. I cannot stress enough how important new student orientation is. Not just for your student, but for you as a parent. I love new student orientation season. We are in it right now. Ours is next week. So this morning we were just talking about ordering ice cream and balloons. So we are getting ready for it. But new student orientation is a chance to come to A-State. You get to take the full tour. You get to talk to professionals. You're talking to the faculty. You get to meet with Residence Life. You get to meet with financial aid. Some of the student support services offices, counseling center, access and accommodation will be there. And then in the afternoon, you get to go to your college. Like for instance, if you're coming to the College of Education, you'll get to come see us for about 3 hours. You get to come, you see us. We will have ice cream and balloons and music and games and lots of fun stuff. But during that time, you get to meet our faculty, people who will be your teachers. You get to meet us, your advisors, who typically you've already met because we advise via Zoom over the summer. But you get to meet us in person. We make any last minute changes to your schedule. And then you also get to do some fun breakout sessions. We're going to do some stuff about like stress relief in college, which is super important for everybody. Just as much mom and dad
Yes.
as the students.
Yes.
So we're going to do some fun stuff like that. But new student orientation is such an important part because that's how we know you're serious about college. So once you've signed up for new student orientation, magically your name gets sent to me in an email or my partner, Antoinette Wade, who is the co-advisor for this college. And we'll immediately start looking at like, hey, little Billy has already taken Comp 1 and 2, or Billy made a 17 on his ACT in math, so he's going to need a little extra help in math. Let's find him that extra help class. And so we start working, and we get your schedule just right. Then we'll schedule to meet with you, typically via Zoom. So it's going to be a little bit of this, but
we're all used to the Zoom world now.
Yes, and so we'll typically meet with you via Zoom, talk to mom and dad and student about classes. And if mom's like, hey, look, Billy is not going to wake up at 8 a.m. for Comp 1, I need to know that. Be super honest with your advisors. And that's also a great time to talk about accommodation. I know this past summer, I had a student who has some ambulatory issues, and he was super worried about having to rush between classes. And he was like, look, I can't get anywhere in 10 minutes. And it was like, okay, let's put 30 minutes. Let's put 45 minutes. Let's put a whole hour just so you don't have to rush. You can take your time. And then also access and accommodation has these awesome little golf carts that zip all over campus.
Yeah.
And so we can go ahead and get you signed up like, hey, you don't want to rush from one side of campus to the other? I don't either, bud. Let's get you a ride. So we were able to kind of get those things figured out for our students. And that's kind of the time we talk about that. Be super honest. Like I said, if you know, if either you're the student who doesn't want to get up at 8 a.m. or if you know your kiddo won't, let's make that schedule in the afternoon. Let's figure some things out. So that gets you in the front door. So I've got this schedule. You come to NSO, we're happy to show you where your classes are. I know that when I came in as a freshman, which I had an older sister who was already a junior here, and I made her walk me the path, like walk me my Monday class. Because I don't want to come in on Monday, the first day of classes, and panic because I can't find my way from the third floor of the HSS building to the first floor of the Lab Sciences building. So go ahead and walk that. I would also say go ahead and make sure you have contacts. Contacts and names are so great. So if your student needs access and accommodation, make sure you know that rep's name, know their direct extension, know their email. And if you have any questions at all, advisors, that's what we do. That is our bread and butter, our 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So any question at all, even if it doesn't even feel like something we could answer, you wouldn't believe it. I can find you an answer. I've helped students find jobs on campus. I've helped students find resources. I have helped a couple students with breakups. I've been there, and we want to help, and that's something we definitely want to do. So that is, I think I want to go to college to semester 1. Now in semester 1, do not think I am just dropping your kiddo in classes and running for the hills. We make sure we have lots of touch points with your students. I email them every day of the first 2 weeks of school because if they're having any second thoughts or anything isn't working, I want to be the first person to know and I want to fix it. And then after the first 2 weeks, I'll email them once a week for about a month and then once a month. And then by then it's time for them to start being advised for the spring semester. And that's when we kind of get them prepared to do it on their own. So they get to pick their own schedule, their own classes. But by the end, they're kind of ready for it. They get to get the whole college thing figured out. And if they haven't, no worries. This is not a hands-off college. Somebody is with you every step of the way.
Big difference from when I went to college. We have talked to her, my husband and I both, about, we had these cards and you stand in line at a table hoping to get in a class. And then, like I said, you saw your advisor one time a semester and they were like, good luck with that. So it is such a different world. And I'm so proud of the work Bo does. And I know her dedication to her students. And it's such a different world. Okay, so you think that's all of part 2?
I think so. And I mean, the biggest part, and I think I emphasized it in part 1 as well, is call and don't be afraid to ask. And anybody can find that answer. So if it's my number that you call over and over again, please don't ever think you're bothering me. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, I am happy to answer your questions. And hey, I don't know all the answers. I've worked here for several years and working on a doctoral degree in education. So you think I know it all, but I don't. So I will work to find you answers as quickly as I can. So never be afraid to ask anything at all.
Okay, thank you. We are about to go into part 3. And let me tell you about part 3. Part 3 is off the books advice. This is from somebody who is in the know. Stuff that you're not going to find in a letter or the handbook. So stay tuned for part 3 when we wrap this up. You don't want to miss part 3. Thanks. Thank you.